Hello everyone and welcome to this week, the third week of my Pantry Challenge in January. I'm participating with the Three Rivers Challenge. I'm Kristen here at Joyfully Thriving and I am cooking and shopping for a family of 6. Normally I use a $500 grocery budget for our family and my goal was to cut it in half this month and to spend less than $250. So I gave myself wiggle room to stock up on dairy and produce and shop the sales if there were any good sales. There really haven't been. So for this month so far I've actually spent about $30 and my goal was to really work through our freezer, which we are doing. So I have 5 days worth of menus to show you. These are simple meals. It is just what our family eats. Yes, there's some repetition. Yes, there's a lot of baking. I will share links to all the recipes. I hope that you will just get some good ideas from this and it will encourage you as you are going about, whether you're doing a pantry challenge or not, share some easy meals that might work for your family or just give you some ideas of how to creatively use the things that you have and stretch them to save yourself some money. So let me show you what we ate this week. It's Tuesday morning and we're going to start this week of cooking from our freezer and pantry off. The kids ended up getting a cold weather delay because we are quite cold today in the negative temperatures. So we are going to go ahead and start by making some blueberry muffins using some of those freezer blueberries. Now normally I bake with them straight from the freezer and dip them in with muffins. I still am, but because these are a little old, you can see they have frost, I will rinse them off before I use it. This is one of my favorite recipes. We need butter, eggs, sour cream, a little bit of sugar and flour. It's a healthy recipe, so there's not a ton of sugar in there, which I love. Vanilla, wheat bran, which is kind of the base of this muffin, baking powder, baking soda, and cinnamon. And we do need milk, but I have not made it to the store, so this is the perfect time. I'm going to use some of my powdered milk here and just stir that in for that little half cup of milk that I need. And I'm going to mix up these muffins and show you how good they are. We love these. One of the things I love about these bran muffins is that they have only a third a cup of sugar in them. The sweetness really comes from the blueberries, the sour cream, all of those things. You can get bran in your baking aisle. I've bought it at a bulk food store is where I've bought it. And I do, yes, always make my muffins with frozen blueberries because I feel like they don't burst as much, the berries. So I just rinse them off. I'm going to gently fold all these in and we'll scoop them into our muffin trays for breakfast this morning. And here's our muffins out for breakfast. I still have a couple more to bake. One recipe makes about 18 muffins. The girls finished off our pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. The boys and I will eat these fresh with our hot chocolate since it is a snow day. And as I mentioned last time, I've been doing my hot chocolate as a scoop of this Premier Protein with water in the morning as a healthier option for me. So that's our breakfast to start out our day at home.
I like hot.
Yes, they're a little warm. Do you want one?
Yes.
What are they?
Blueberry muffins.
Since we're home on this snow day today, lunches are kind of pick what you want. So Emma picked cheese and crackers there. She had a couple cheese balls left over from a tournament and apples and peanut butter. Lily's doing some leftover noodles. There's pumpkin muffins. We're just kind of on our own with a little bit of potluck or hodgepodge. I'm going to have some taco soup from the freezer. I love doing them in canning jars because I can freeze them this way, I can microwave them this way, and I can eat this way. So I'm going to finish off some soup for the freezer for my lunch. Dinner tonight is a crock pot chicken. This is about 3 pounds of chicken breast. You can do 2 to 3 pounds. It's a super simple recipe. You toss it in your crock pot with 1 block of cream cheese, a can of corn, a can of black beans, and a jar of salsa, and just cook it on high for 4 hours or low, 6 to 8, the standard, and then shred it up. So we're doing that chicken. And baked potatoes. So I have a whole bunch of baked potatoes going right there. And then we're going to do veggies. I was actually in charge of a hospitality at a basketball tournament over the weekend, so I have some veggies left over, fresh veggies. We're going to do that with some dip. And then for dessert, I'm using some of those frozen strawberries, and I just put a little bit of sugar on them to let them thaw, and I made some strawberry shortcake biscuits. Now, these are a homemade biscuit. It's just flour, sugar, baking soda, your typical things, but this has cold butter. It does have an egg and some yogurt in them. I love the taste of these. The closest recipe I can find is from Bless This Mess Please. I will go ahead and leave a link to that one, but it's just a really good simple biscuit. So we'll do that with some strawberries and whipped cream for dessert, and that's our dinner tonight. Breakfast this morning is eggs, bacon, and toast. Boys did some blueberry bran muffins, and my girls are doing oatmeal and frozen pancakes from the freezer. And we're back to packing school lunches. So I pack for all three of our older kids. We use these handy Bent-Go boxes. I do really love them. They are not leak-proof, so I do applesauce cups. Lily has a homemade bread, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a brownie, and egg today. Emma is our daughter who doesn't really like sandwiches, so she has cheese and crackers with applesauce, some cheese balls, and some no-bake cookies. And Nathan has bread and butter, homemade bread and butter with Chex Mix cookies there. Pack their lunches and water bottles, and we're set for the day. Lunchtime for Caleb and me. He is working on finishing those hot dog freezers. We have some cheese balls left over from the tournament this weekend, which the kids are loving that special treat since I never buy those. Homemade yogurt with our homemade granola for Caleb. And then I am doing some of the leftover chicken, crock pot chicken with cream cheese from last night, some veggies from the hospitality room, and a little bit of ranch dip. That's our lunch today. Because we have a basketball game over dinner, and we'll eat later, we usually eat an early dinner, we have an after-school snack with homework. Emma picked homemade yogurt with granola, and Caleb's already almost done with his toast, just like Lily picked, homemade bread with butter. Dinner tonight, after the last basketball game of the season, we're all super hungry. Baked potatoes and brisket. Leftover baked potatoes from last night and brisket from the freezer that I thawed in the slow cooker. Thursday morning, breakfast is repeats. We have oatmeal, we have pancakes, and we finished off the blueberry muffins. After a full almost 2 weeks of having kids home due to sickness and snow days and all the things, I'm home alone and just sat down to fix myself a breakfast of 2 scrambled eggs, some bacon from the freezer. I had cooked that yesterday and now I'm just reheating it every morning, and then half a potato I fried up in bacon grease. Time to eat breakfast and tackle my day while Caleb's in preschool. Caleb's home from preschool and asked for a hot dog with a bun on the side. We have some extra buns right now, some potato chips. Simple lunch. We're eating quick before we go back to the spelling bee, right, Caleb?
Yeah!
That's today's lunch. And after my breakfast, I'm not hungry yet. So we're just going to let Caleb eat right now. While Caleb's eating lunch, I'm going to peel these potatoes and cut them up and let them soak to make French fries tonight using the Pioneer Woman's recipe. Caleb's still hungry, so asked for our homemade yogurt with homemade granola. All right, potatoes are ready and cut. I have made these only a couple of times before, and we do really like them, but they take time, and I always forget they have to soak for a couple hours. So today I remembered potatoes are soaking, and we will fry those up as French fries for dinner tonight with our hamburgers. And we're heading back out the door already to go watch my son in the spelling bee, so I grabbed half a pretzel that was in the freezer to finish off that bag, and that'll be my lunch right now. Frying potatoes for dinner. The Pioneer Woman's recipe involves soaking them for a couple hours, and then you fry them once to get them soft at 300, around that, and then you fry them again at 400 to get them crisp. So getting those potatoes going there, and I'm going to go ahead while that's cooking. The hamburgers are on the grill outside, even though it's cold, and I'm going to make up another batch of pumpkin muffins this week. This time I'm going to do it as bread. And here are our beautiful French fries ready for dinner. We are eating hamburgers, but we only have hot dog buns, so we cut our hamburgers in half and have 2 little mini hot dogs with French fries, some veggie sticks, and a couple of the kids are eating cottage cheese. So much work, but these are delicious fries. Her recipe really does work if you have the time and the patience to fry them up. Breakfast today is pumpkin bread, our yummy pumpkin bread with chocolate chips in there. Kids drank apple juice with it, and I did a little of my protein hot chocolate. Lunch today, Caleb asked for a leftover hamburger. He loves hamburgers, and cottage cheese and some chips, as well as a Buckeye for dessert. I am Doing a little bit more of this chicken, still working with it, and having some tortilla chips to scoop it up. Time to cook Friday night dinner, and Caleb is helping me mix up sheet cake pancakes. These are a recipe from the Pioneer Woman. It's a basic pancake recipe. It uses your flour, milk, eggs, all the things, but you pour it into a big sheet pan to make one huge pancake, and we're gonna top it with a couple of our favorite toppings, aren't we, Caleb?
Yeah, like blueberries.
Blueberries and some chocolate chips.
Yeah.
And we're gonna eat these with tater tots and some bacon
I love tater tots.
and frozen blueberries tonight. So here is a sheet cake pancake before it bakes. This is a really large Bake in the USA pan. I'll leave a link to the size of it. We just dropped in frozen blueberries. I like raspberries with a little bit of chocolate chips, and then we have chocolate chips on the other side. It just needs to bake about 15 minutes. It doesn't take long. I have tater tots going in the air fryer. I have some bacon already cooked. I'm gonna reheat. My husband's gone, so that means we are doing breakfast for dinner because that's one of the kids and I, our favorites, and it's easy. A great
Breakfast
Friday night dinner. And here's the sheet cake pancake. When it comes out of the oven, you can see your toppings sink a bit, but we still know what is what, and I'm gonna slice it into strips for us to eat. Dinner tonight is sheet cake pancakes, the tater tot rounds, love those, some bacon and blueberries. Kids are having apple juice and I'm doing sparkling water. Everyone like their Brinner?
Yeah!
Saturday morning, and I am mixing up a double batch. I guess it's not really a double batch, but I did 2 cups of water with 2 scoops of my protein powder this morning. I'll sip it leisurely as I am making our pancakes for the morning and doing some work as the kids enjoy a Saturday morning. So mix it up in here and I'll pour it into my mug since it will be very full. We'll do that and get started on our pancakes. Who else I need to know saves their bacon grease in just a canning jar here? My mom did it. I'm pretty sure my grandma's did it. And I use it to grease my griddles or cook potatoes in. I do all sorts of different things. My in-laws actually cook their popcorn in bacon grease. So I always do it. Just curious if you do it. I do store mine with a peanut butter lid on. It fits perfectly on canning jars, as do mayo lids, if you didn't know that. So my griddle's ready. These are my last eggs that I bought on sale for $1.99 before Christmas. And I'm sad because pretty soon I'm going to have to restock here. Just finished up my second 10-pound bag of flour. I probably didn't go through the first one. The first one was already opened in the beginning of the month. But yes, when I'm baking, I go through a lot of flour. All right, mixed up a double batch of pancakes. I know we had them last night, but this is just what we do on Saturdays because I am prepping them for the week and in the freezer. So went ahead and made our typical double batch. We are going to get pancake morning going here. This is Saturday morning, so I should probably get a bigger griddle here. I've been using this one. I bought it my first year of teaching, which was, 20 years ago over that. But it only cooks 4. It works great. I do like cooking on a griddle. I know some of you cook them on the stove, but pancakes for me, it's just easier on the griddle and I never have to worry about them burning. I think we're gonna do a pancake party this morning. I'll show you that in a second. After I do the first couple plain, I do stir in mini chocolate chips for the second half of the batch. Pancake party to us means you can put on whatever toppings you want. So Lily went for Nutella. Looks like Emma picked some Nutella. We have molasses, jam, some syrups, powdered sugar, butter. Nathan, what'd you pick?
Syrup, butter, and powdered sugar.
Oh, let's see those pancakes of yours right there. They look pretty good. And Caleb's gonna dip his pancake in syrup. Everyone was so hungry suddenly. We ate all our leftovers for lunch and I didn't film it. We finished off some brisket, the last of cream cheese pulled pork, baked potatoes, hamburger, and I did make a box of mac and cheese. Now it's mid-afternoon and the kids wanted a snack, so a bunch of them are eating apple slices and a couple are doing apples with peanut butter. So we are eating a lot of apples lately. I'm glad I've been able to restock on produce because we are definitely going through apples and they've been really good lately. We've had some really good ones from Kroger. We're gonna have tacos tonight, so I just made some homemade tortillas. They are rising under this tea towel my grandma embroidered for me years ago. It always makes me smile when I see it. This is a really simple recipe, and I do like it. I haven't made it a ton. My sisters make it, but it does work. I make really good tortillas, and it's pretty simple. It is 3 cups of flour. It is a cup of water, a third a cup of your fat. So I used oil in this. I just used a canola oil, but I have done it with shortening before. And then a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder. They're going to rise for a little bit, and then I'm going to flatten them and cook them just in my cast iron skillet. So that's going to be for dinner tonight. The kids are all here and ready to help me bake some monster cookies today, deciding who gets to lick the batter. So this is a simple cookie recipe. We haven't made them for a while. So we get some in the freezer and make monster cookies. So we have butter, flour, sugar, vanilla, baking soda, eggs, peanut butter, oats, and then we do add chocolate chips and M&Ms and peanut butter chips. So kids are gonna help me mix these up. The kids' job when we're done mixing up the dough is to help by putting a couple extra M&Ms on top. We put them in the dough as well, but we put them on the top to make them look a little fancier. Now in the oven they'll go. And here's our monster cookies. If you love soft cookies, I mean, these really are the best cookies. I have a friend who doesn't eat cookies or sweets, and if I put these out by him, he will easily eat and just keep eating them. They are so good. He calls them soft balls of dough. But with the oatmeal and the peanut butter chips and the chocolate chips and the M&Ms, it really is one of our favorite cookie recipes, and they freeze great. So we're going to enjoy these for dinner, but then we'll put some in the freezer for school lunches. I will leave a link to how I wrap cookies for the freezer, as well as a link to this cookie recipe. All right, so let me show you how we make the tortillas. There's the balls, and then you're gonna roll them as thin as you possibly can, just using a rolling pin, just like that. Just the trick is as thin as you can. And then you take them over to the stove with the skillet, and it's just on medium heat. And you just flip it there. You don't have to grease the pan. You don't do anything. You just do it until it's cooking. These are not as good as my homemade San Antonio tortillas that you can buy at H-E-B. They are better than the store-bought ones you can buy up here in Indiana. So, you know, if you're in a pinch like me and it's a pantry challenge and you need some soft tortillas for your kids, you can give this recipe a try too. And here's my homemade tortilla with tacos. I already ate one. I love them. The kids, they're eating chips and trying some of them. I have some fresh salsa on top. Kids are eating peaches with our dinner tonight. All right, so we are coming down to that final stretch. We have 1 week left of January. I am definitely seeing a difference in my freezer, but I could probably keep going for quite some time. I have not yet fully decided what I'm going to do with the money I've saved, so stay tuned. We'll talk about that next week when this challenge wraps up. I am going to attempt to film 5 final days of videos for you with our last meals, and then I will do a recap video with our freezer, how it looks, the lessons I've learned, my takeaways, and some tips and tricks for those of you who are wanting to save money on groceries or just try your own version of a pantry challenge. Now, I know some of you are doing a pantry challenge, some of you are doing a low spend month. There's a lot of different challenges going on right now, so let me know in the comments how it's going for you. And if you do want some more easy recipe ideas and you want to see how and why this challenge started, I'll leave that link to that video so you can watch that one next. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.